and the riders will get back on the gas before they go into the left-handed 90-degree corner, which is turn 9. Now watch how they have to flick the bike over to the right here almost immediately as they come over the crest for turn 10. A Little King still on the gas, using all of the curb, and then it is another fast left-hander, turn 11, similar to turn 6. You'll see the tyres smoking through here. Then it's back on the gas down to the right-handed kick, which is turn 12. Now you'll see riders get off the gas here and get on the brakes, lining themselves up for turn 13. Again, very slow corner, so important as they're lining themselves up for the start-finish straight, which is a quick flick left here where we saw Cal Crutchlow in the news earlier do Andrea Iannone for the final podium spot in last year's race. So that was an onboard lap around the Termas de Rio Hondo. MotoGP qualifying saw Repsol Honda's Marc Marquez put in a sensational lap to set a 1:39.411 to finish almost 4/10 ahead of the rest of the field. It was the double MotoGP World Champion's 31st MotoGP pole position, and he's been on pole in all 3 Premier Class races held at the Termas de Rio Hondo. It was also his 13th front row start in a row, and despite him crashing late on during the session at turn 1. So let's take a look at the full MotoGP grid for the Argentina GP. As we just discussed, Marquez, Rossi and Lorenzo on the front row, Pedrosa, Dovizioso and Iannone on row 2, making a perfect blend of 2 Hondas, 2 Yamahas and 2 Ducatis in the top 6. Maverick Viñales starts from the head of row 3, ahead of Hector Barbera and Britt Cal Crutchlow, while Pol Espargaro is ahead of his brother and his teammate Bradley Smith on the 4th row. Row 5 consists of Loris Baz, Scott Redding and Jack Miller, while Stefan Bradl heads up row 6 ahead of Eugene Laverty and Michele Pirro, who's filling in for the injured Danilo Petrucci. And at the back of the grid is Tito Rabat, Alvaro Bautista and Yoni Hernandez, who make up row 7.
21 riders do battle in a flag-to-flag race to decide the outcome of the Grand Prix of the Republic of Argentina. The man in pole position, Marc Marquez, who won the race here 2 years ago, crashed out last year after a collision with Valentino Rossi. The final sighting lap. Let's let them get away and just have one last word with Dylan about the conditions. I think we're there now, Dylan. What do you think?
Well, it's dry at the moment. I'd rather not have to predict too far in the future. You know what, we do have dark clouds, but they have been hovering around for quite some time. So do you know what, fingers crossed it won't rain. But even if it does, the teams will be prepared. As you can imagine, the atmosphere not just is, quite tense, shall we say. The mechanics are going to have to be on their A game. The number 2 bikes are already fired up just in case there's any mistake with the bike on this warm-up lap. And afterwards, they'll have to be ready for that flag-to-flag.
We ride with Jorge Lorenzo, the clear visor, of course. This is down this long back straight, over 1,000 metres long, over half a mile long into turn 5. Certainly the track, we've seen, and you commentated on Moto 3 and Moto 2, looks drier than it has been throughout the afternoon so far. It's not how the track is now, it's just how it's going to be. 25 degrees centigrade. It was well over 10 degrees, even more than that, warmer on Friday. 29 degrees centigrade the track temperature. Little bit of a breeze about. Does that keep the clouds away or does that blow them in? We are about to find out as we ride with Andrea Dovizioso.
With a different mentality, a different mindset, knowing already you've got to stop for a flag to flag. It's a very unusual scenario for these riders. Laps 9, 10 and 11, they're the ones to keep an eye on. You've got to come in, as you can see on that caption at the bottom of your screen. The race has been declared dry. It's a 20-lap race. They've all got to come in and swap bikes at the end of laps 9, 10 or 11. Just to quickly remind you, if it does start raining, then Race Direction will throw the red flag. If it's considered to be too dangerous, and all the riders will enter the pit lane, then there will be a restart. We'll come to that though if that eventuality is required, because the riders coming to the grid for what is about to be a really dramatic, nail-biting 20 laps.
Yeah, it's not like a Mazzano situation where the riders have to make a decision. The only decision they have to make is when they come in. Do the teams decide that? to the riders decide that. Scott Redding didn't give too much away, really, did he? So here we go, round 2, the MotoGP World Championship here in Argentina. It's flag to flag, and they are away.
Oh, Valentino Rossi had a wheelie off the line, and he got a rear tyre spinning. Rossi's getting swamped on the run down to the first corner. Lorenzo's got the whole shot. Iannone almost tags the back of Marc Marquez. Iannone runs one, he runs Dani Pedrosa out 2 into the marbles at the first corner. Lorenzo leads from Marc Marquez. Valentino Rossi trying to pick up ground. Maverick Vinales got a good start. He's already up to 4th place.
Well, I was a lucky man, Andrea Iannone definitely touched the back of Dani Pedrosa and pushed him very, very wide indeed. Andrea Dovizioso, we ride with Jorge Lorenzo. They come onto the back straight for the first time. Who's got the grunt? Who's got the power? Who's brave under the brakes into turn 5? We're about to find out.
It's the Ducati power that's enabled Andrea Dovizioso rather hit the front. Valentino Rossi got a real poor launch off the line. He got a wheelie, and then as the rear tyre dug in, it spun up off the grid on the dirty part of the track, and Rossi has done brilliantly to come back into 2nd place already ahead of his teammate Jorge Lorenzo. Dovizioso leads on the Ducati. Andrea Iannone's back down in 8th place after that very early tangle with Dani Pedrosa.
They're down at turn 7 and 8. Dovizioso still leads the way. Dani Pedrosa tries to fight back, but Rossi closes up on Dovizioso. There's Marc Marquez. Look at Vinales up the inside now of Jorge Lorenzo. That little dip, turn 9. Now down towards turn 10. And the fast left-hander at 11.
Lorenzo's being really super cautious. He got the whole shot down into the first corner, but he's being swallowed up on this opening lap. Lorenzo now back down into 5th place and under real pressure from the fast-starting Hector Barbera.
We ride with Valentino Rossi through turn 13. Momentarily upright, then tip it into 14. 2nd place, Dovizioso crosses the line in the lead. Rossi right behind him. Marquez, they've opened that tree up, just opened up a little bit of a gap. Rossi sniffs up the inside of Dovizioso and thinks no. Marquez closes up on Rossi.
Who's right on Valentino Rossi's back wheel? It's none other than Marc Marquez. Here we go, we're on board with the Spaniard through turn number 2. He's chasing the Italians, Andrea Dovizioso and Valentino Rossi. Lorenzo came over the line in 5th place. He's still in that 6th place under real pressure though from Hector Barbera. Valentino Rossi won't be able to slipstream that Ducati down the back straight. Look at the legs that the Ducati's got on that Yamaha. Pulls about 5 or 6 bike lengths. No way for Rossi to attack down in turn 5. Cal Crutchlow and Aleix Espargaro have crashed out. It's come up on our monitors here. Crutchlow and Espargaro crashed out of the race.
Well, not even 1.5 laps gone. We're in 1.5 laps now. Jorge Lorenzo is coming under pressure from Hector Barbera. He made the whole shot. He is struggling. Rossi closes up on Dovizioso once again. Marquez seemingly quite happy to watch just from behind. Well, this is familiar territory, isn't it? Rossi and Dovizioso going at each other like this.
Aleix Espargaro and Cal Crutchlow have rejoined the race, but the man who's really struggling is Jorge Lorenzo. Got a good launch off the line, but he just can't run the pace at the moment. Is he being overcautious? The reigning world champion Marc Marquez lines up Valentino Rossi down to turn number 13. Rossi's the master of the late braking move. No way through for Marc Marquez. Rossi closes up on Andrea Dovizioso. Marquez, what an onboard shot that is from Rossi as they flick it left through turn number 14. Over the line, Dovizioso leads. Rossi from Marquez.
Up the start and finish straight. This is where Marquez crashed at the end of qualifying yesterday. We ride with Valentino Rossi. Once again, Marquez closes up on him. Round turn 2, up towards the left-hander at turn 3. Vinales is absolutely flying at the moment in 4th place with Iannone behind him.
Marc Marquez then up the inside of Valentino Rossi. Beautiful move up at turn number 9. He holds it through turn number 10. Marquez then up in a 2nd place. Next to his side is Andrea Dovizioso. Marquez closes right up on the rear of that Ducati. Can he make a move down into turn number 13?
He's thinking about it at 13, as you say. Dovizioso late on the brakes. Here comes Marquez up the inside. The Honda leads the way. Does he run it wide? No. Pulls back across the track into 14. 3 great laps gone, and Marquez now leads the way.
Marquez, what a 3rd lap from the Spaniard. Picked off Rossi up at turn number 9, and 3 corners later disposed of Andrea Dovizioso. The fastest man on track is the man in 5th place, Andrea Iannone, was caught up in a bit of a tangle down at the first corner. Rossi under pressure now from Maverick Vinales. Jack Miller, we just saw at the top of your picture, has picked off Jorge Lorenzo.
Rossi, there is Vinales.
Miller's gone down. Sorry, I think Jack Miller crashed out at the top of the picture. I'm pretty sure we've just lost Jack Miller out of 6th place. He just made a move on Lorenzo. Andrea Dovizioso's blitzed back past Marc Marquez. Marquez's got the inside line at turn number 5. Is the door open for Rossi as well to sweep up on the inside? Rossi cuts it back around the outside of Dovizioso. Frantic actually at the front in Argentina.
Aleix Espargaro back in the race.
Yeah, you can see he's got some crash damage there on the inside. What happened here? Cal Crutchlow, Aleix Espargaro's gone really, really wide. That was like a tandem front end loss. They separate incidents between Cal Crutchlow and Andrea Dovizioso. And who can win the 100-metre sprint to pick up their bikes?
Good job they got on the right bikes, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Cal Crutchlow signs for Suzuki there. I think he was going to jump on the wrong bike. Both okay, but both missed out the chance. There is chance for points there, though, isn't there? That's the most important thing. Marquez is piling on the pressure at the front. Marquez knows if he can build up a good advantage and get in there and change bikes as quick as he can. And you know, he's having problems getting past Dovizioso, but he's through.
Beautiful move by Iannone. Dovizioso cuts it back at the inside of turn number 13. Great fight between the two factory Ducati men. Marc Marquez, he knew he wanted to get to the front of this field. He wants to be the first man into the pit lane. You don't want to be getting caught up with anybody else in those bike swaps. Maverick Vinales has run wide at the first corner. We just saw his teammate Aleix Espargaro. Aleix Espargaro just ran in way too hot. He got onto the wide part of the circuit. On the dirty part, Lorenzo's down. Jorge Lorenzo, the reigning world champion, has crashed out of the first corner. He was having a nightmare. It's just got worse.
Lorenzo crashes out, and it looks like it is the end of the race for the world champion and the race winner in Qatar 2 weeks ago. It's over for Jorge Lorenzo. He walks away. No points for the world champion and the championship leader.
Just didn't get going at all, Nick, in that race. Yeah, losing the front through very late in the corner through that turn number 1. What a disaster for Lorenzo. He just didn't get going. He was running, 0.6 of a second a lap off of the lead group.
Well, they're on their 7th lap at the moment. Let's ride with Lorenzo. Yeah, we've seen many a man go down there this weekend, but that's the biggest mistake of them all, isn't it?
Have you ever looked for a hotel online? Did you notice that there are so many different prices out there for the exact same room? Well, Trivago does the work for you and instantly compares the prices of over 600,000 hotels from over 200 different websites. Instead of searching for hours or spending too much, Trivago makes it easy for you to find the ideal hotel for the best price. Trivago shows you all the different prices for the exact same room. And that's how you can be sure that you find your ideal hotel for the best price. Hotel Trivago.
This is a war in our blood. We'll draw the battle lines. We will stand. We will fight. Whose side are you fighting for? This is a war.
WWE Special Battleground is presented by TVH Tires, Totally Tikau, in association with Denver Extreme Deodorant, performance guaranteed.
Maverick Vinales has worked his way up into 3rd place. He took both of the factory Ducatis on that previous lap. There's nothing between Rossi and Marc Marquez. Rossi's just put in the best lap of the race, a 140.6. The good thing is for Marc Marquez, if there are any problems with that onboard camera, he's got to come in, of course, and change bikes.
So that's absolutely right. I think they're coming in race direction. They can now pit. Swapping bikes is mandatory.
Marquez now has box written on his pit board.
Yeah, Marc Marquez, he got it all squirrely coming out of turn number 3. The rear was hopping around all over the track. Big wheel spin from Marquez, and that's all Valentino Rossi needed. Rossi sweeps up the inside of Marc Marquez. Marquez, though, cuts it back brilliantly. Rossi was in a fraction too hard. This is what we wanted, the showdown in Argentina again between Marc Marquez and Valentino Rossi. Maverick Vinales and Andrea Iannone, and the first 2 in. Vinales on the Suzuki, the pit lane's open, and Vinales and Andrea Iannone have come in.
So the Suzuki and the Ducati are in. Flag to flag, hand goes up. Vinales swaps pretty quick. Dovizioso, you imagine, would be the same. Looks like Danny Pedrosa has come in as well.
Yeah, Eugene Laverty has, so has Loris Baz, Hector Barber, Stefan Bradl there. You can see the two of Vinci Ducatis heading back out onto the track.
An absolutely fantastic swap over from Vinales. He really gained quite a few metres on Iannone in there.
Rossi closes right up on Marquez once again.
This is like a carbon copy of last year.
It's deja vu, isn't it? It really is. Rossi right behind Marquez. Does he want to just get past him on the brakes? And